great evening to you all. Thank you so much for being here. You're watching Seeing the Unseen, and uh, welcome to the show. Tonight, before I get started, the title is Bare Gratefulness, but I've got a quick piece of housekeeping, which is for anyone who might be joining the show for the first time, whatever platform you're on out there, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Just be sure to say something so we know you're here. And then we'll be able to do a reading for you. The first time, of course, is always free. Going forward after that, we do $10 per reading, or you can do $100 and cover the whole month, which the show happens 3 times a week, so that's a pretty sweet deal there. Now, tonight, I just have a quick thing to share with you here, and then I'll turn it over to Christopher, who's got some really just powerful stuff to say tonight. Now, one of the most critical things that I've learned that I really try to share with people as often as I possibly can is really how important it is to operate from a place of gratitude. And that's even if, and especially if, things seem tough to be grateful for. See, the unconscious mind, which is responsible for 95% of our daily behavior if we're over the age of 35, is a yes machine. Now, what that means is it has no way of rejecting thoughts that are programmed into it. That's why when someone says, don't think about elephants, that's all we can think about. So, operating with gratitude for every experience will eventually begin to program your unconscious mind to increase the number of things that you have to be grateful for, while operating from a place of fear does the opposite. So that seems like a simple choice to me. Now, with more to say, here's Christopher, and enjoy the show.
Great blessings. Thank you all for being here. I love you dearly. I've had an amazing weekend. Friday, I took off work. We went up to the mountain. Now, if none of you have been to Arizona, most people think Arizona is all desert. It is not. About 3 hours north of here are woodlands. It's much like northern Idaho, Washington, and about 3.5 hours northeast is a little town called Show Low, Lakeside, and Pine Top. They're all three kind of together. You can't really tell when you leave one and enter another. They're all joined together. But it's a wonderful little community, and we went up to scout locations for my movie from the book, to do a movie, Trestle Creek, Things the Dead Fear, just because it has a lot of potential. Also, we met quite a few people that went up to look at a new land that was purchased, about 40 acres that was purchased about 20 minutes north of Show Low. It was 40 acres that they're going to be building a movie studio. But on the land, which is stunning, is this log home. It's about, I don't know, maybe 5,000 square feet log home. Not well built. It's quite actually dangerous to walk up and down the stairs. The stairs were uneven, so it needs a little work, but it's not that old of a log home. But what was funny is when I walked in, there was this sign in the center of the home. Now, they just purchased it 2 days ago, right? So anybody that was in there had moved already out. Place is fairly clean, but I got to show you this sign. Are you ready for this, Kenan? Yeah. This was on one of the pillars in the house. It says, Bear Country. Avoid confrontation. Don't surprise bears. Make noise. Lana texted her. She saw this on Facebook, and Elk Lady, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I know." And so even my sister and I know Melinda and Edna are up in the Northwest too. Lana like always carries bear spray and a 45. Is what she wrote on Facebook. But Hike during daylight hours in groups, if at all possible. Odors attract bears. And I just started thinking about how timely this was for just living life. There are personalities out there that are like bears. Make noise. if if you're approaching a bear, let them know that you're coming, okay? And not get involved in their dramas. Those type of bear people. Stay away from them at night. And be in groups. In other words, I love this group because we're forming this group, and it's very metaphorical to me. I just thought it was kind of hilarious, and it just gave a lot of life lessons. But what's interesting about the title of the show is about bearing gratefulness. And when I was young, and I wrote about it in my book, I went to take the garbage out. And we had to take the garbage probably, I don't know, 300 or 400 feet away from, I mean, for a little kid, I actually don't know how far it was, but for a little kid, it seemed like a long way away to dump the garbage into an old, dried out creek bed. And so my two best friends and I was maybe 6. I had a 5-year-old with me and a 7-year-old. There were 3 of us, and we were going to go take the garbage. And we threw the garbage into this. We didn't look. It was just an old creek bed, deep old creek bed. Threw it in the creek bed, and we hear this ungodly roar. And up from this gully comes this black bear, and I freaked out. I started running. And the closest place that was safe was an old outhouse. And so I ran into the outhouse, shut the door, and my friends Brad and Shelly, I thought, oh my God, the bear ate him. No, they came running up to the outhouse and they were laughing and laughing. And I wanted to share this point with you because I thought it was very symbolic as to what a bear symbolizes. Brad says to Shelly, he says, Chris has the talk. And Shelly says, we don't see bars often at all. And because you was taking out the garbage and you threw the garbage on the bear, you got the talk. And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about, Shelly. I stared blankly at her. Here's my point. Bars come when a person can talk with spirit. Hardly nobody can talk with spirit. Every winter, bars go to sleep like they died. And then in the spring, they're reborn. All winter, they are talking with spirit. They dream all winter. You are a creature of dreams. You are a shaman child. You dream the Great Spirit. We dream the Great Spirit. And so there's this bearing of gratefulness of us being able to bear the Great Spirit and to be able to share that Great Spirit with others. This I wanted to share with you. Can you pull up the group card again? Okay. I wanted you, if you wanted to take a picture of this, I just thought this was very profound. And you can read it over or think about it later on. But what do I fear that I would have to confront if I wasn't distracted by the energy of doing? So think about bear energy. Think about bear going to sleep or hibernate during the winter. And they're not doing. They're hibernating. But what would I have to confront if I wasn't distracted by the energy of doing? Know that you're safe with whatever it is that you need to confront. Because the bear is very symbolic of earth energy. and that you're safe with whatever it is that you need to confront, to grow, to expand. So I light this incense for you to help with your awareness in this lifetime, in the present, in the now, and even in all the other lifetimes that are yet to come, no matter what dimension they may be in. So great, great blessings to all of you here with this incense. And then the group card, it all ties together. This is called Earth Star Activation, and it's something not even I think about very often. Most people are familiar with the 6 or 7 chakras that we have. This is a chakra or an energy field that extends beneath our feet about a foot. This is the grounding energy. So when we've talked on the show before about just even going out barefoot, standing on the ground, allowing yourself to ground, it's actually you're activating this chakra that is about a foot below the bottom of the foot. And what's interesting about this is this card has Isis. Now, Isis is the archetype or the goddess of the stars. Well, what is she doing on a card that has to do with grounding? To the extent that you ground is the extent that you can extend your awareness into more deeper spiritual matters, into the so-called stars. So this is, again, the cards are metaphors, they're messages. And it's also the gateway to treasures that are buried within the earth. We are here experiencing fully, and allowing ourselves to experience fully, this life on this earth. It is miraculous. And be in constant gratitude. And extending, just even going outside after the show, grounding yourself in that earth, activating that chakra, is going deep to find the magic that is within you already, always has been, always will be, but to activate that through wisdom and through your experiences. And anything that we've pushed down or ignored or put aside, go outside, ground. Okay? And this is, after the show tonight and during the show, you may be experiencing rejected parts of yourself that are being rediscovered. And the reminder is, stay firmly rooted in your endeavors. The bear doesn't wake up to go grab something to eat in the middle of December. It's hibernating. Bear with your endeavors to grow spiritually, to ground. So I just thought this was a great concept before I started your individual readings tonight, to be able to help you assimilate some of these messages. I was reading for a gentleman today who got a little fairly upset at what I was trying to tell him. And he was taking it on that I was accusing him of not doing something or not doing it right. And I'm like, oh, okay. He wasn't quite ready to hear this. So I had to back off, allow him some time. That's okay. People are where they are. But this will help all of us to be able to ground and to use that chakra, be aware of that chakra. Okay, who's on first?
Perfect. It's Marilyn and Abby.
Marilyn and Abby? Okay. Wonderful Sunday night. Just a wonderful Sunday night. And let's see what comes up for you tonight. Do you remember how it feels, Marilyn, if you ever planted a tomato plant or a garden, and you go out and you're watering and you're digging and you're weeding, and the feeling of that first little green pepper or that first little tomato, there's this joy, right? There's greater joy coming to you. There's greater bearing fruit. And it's coming more and more easily, more naturally. You've done the work. You're being acknowledged by spirit, by angels, by guides. You have done an amazing work. Now reap the harvest, because it's coming to you naturally. And so it's you're still watering, but you're not nearly needing to weed so much or plant. This is about enjoying this time in life and enjoying the fruits of your labor, what you've put out there, how you've served other people. Bring it in. Know what a gift you are to this planet, what you have been to this planet, what you're going to continue to be to this planet, Marilyn. Okay? All right, Miss Abby. And the thing is, what I love about Abby, well, one of the many things, is a little known fact about Abby. When she was here in Arizona visiting, she never wears shoes. She'll wear flip-flops. I've seen her wear flip-flops, but she prefers barefoot. And I just thought, what a great experience in telling this story tonight about that chakra that is 12 inches below the bottom of your feet, and how grounded you are. And so, Abby, you've got the synergy card. Where synergistic things begin to happen for you. So, for instance, I'll give you an example. We went up Friday, Scott Ambrosi, who's the director, cinematographer, screenwriter. He's many things, but director. And we got up there, and the friend we were staying with said, "Oh, there is a hot air balloon show." And I go, "At night?" And they go, "Yeah." What they do is they tether the balloons so they don't actually go all the way into the air, but they tether them, and there were probably a dozen hot air balloons, and at night when they ignite them, they just glow, and it was absolutely beautiful. Well, while we were there, Martina Webster, who is she started the Sholo Film Festival. She had her booth there, and she was advertising about this film festival coming up. A producer from Hollywood and his wife walk up randomly. It was synergistically, like we never met them before, and the next day they ended up coming with us to this new property, and were hugely helpful in helping build the vision and the excitement. So what's happening with you, Abby, are things like this where there's synergistic people, and you'll know, like I knew that I had to go this weekend. I didn't know exactly why I was going this weekend, but there are synergistic things that happen in our lives. Trust your gut. Trust your groundedness. You know, when I started on this journey many, many, many years ago, one of the major turning points was I was invited to a network marketing meeting. And the subject is what interested me. It wasn't necessarily the network marketing, but I knew I had to go, and I didn't know why. And that was where I met one of my teachers. which then put me on this path 30 years later. So this is synergistic for you, Abby. Oh, when you all travel, so Austin, I know you're on tonight, right? Okay. So, Austin, all of us have traveled. And if we've gone to another country, we see things that we don't know the name of them. I'll give you an example. I was in China and I was walking by a night market, which is like a farmer's market. And I saw these white slug things. And people were buying them and putting them in their basket along with vegetables. And I couldn't name it. My point is, be free of needing to name everything, because it puts you into a state of awareness where you're not needing to figure things out or figure out why things are the way they are. And it frees up your mind to be more open, and rather than defining or the need to define something, allow it. Allow for yourself to experience it. Those white things, by the way, turned out to be sea slugs. They were awful. Oh God. I won't get into it. But it was the experience of seeing something brand new that I couldn't label. More and more of you, all of you, are going to be experiencing more of that. Be free of trying to or needing to label it. Okay, who's next?
Very good. It's Melinda.
Hey, Mindy. Okay. Oh, I love this one, Mindy. Fortune. So here's a little known fact about Melinda that I'm not even sure she's aware of. It's really fun to find little known facts about yourself. So tonight, I just have to show you. Melinda sent me this picture, and okay, here it is. She made this. So the backstory behind this, and Abby and all of you on the show, this is an example of synchronistic events. And sometimes most times, the things you say, the things you tell people, the experiences you have, the sending of this picture to me, which Melinda just made, was extremely synchronistic. Because the woman that is going to be on the land with her husband, the land that we went to go see, there is a spring there. It's a natural spring. And the spring is some kind of portal. I've never felt an energy from anything like that in my life. It was extremely strong, and she didn't tell me anything about it. Okay? She brought me over to this spring. There's the spring. And Melinda, I swear to God, I was on the phone with her when you sent that picture to me. And we were talking about that spring, and there's some kind of beautiful energy there, and you can see that the spring then has gone into a small lake that's created there in northern Arizona. But the color of the water is almost exactly the color that you sent, and the elementals, the fairies, the whatever is there, which I've never experienced or seen before. It was a sea slug. Like I couldn't name it. I'd never experienced it, so I just kind of allowed it to be. And then while I was on the phone with her when I got home, You sent me that picture. So, you've got the fortune card. I want to ask all of you on the show, what is fortune to you? And Melinda, your ability to tell fortunes is very strong, because that was the second time, I believe, that happened within the past week, where you sent me something that was very profound with either the person I was talking to or for myself. This is your this is the bear energy. This is talking with the Great Spirit. So thank you for pulling this, because I send all that energy and the ability to every one of you tonight to talk with this Great Spirit. And what does fortune mean to you? Call that in. Okay? Let's say you buy lottery tickets and you go, oh, darn, I didn't win the lottery. You know what? There's an opportunity for me to win the lottery next time. Rather than, oh, I didn't win. That then feeds the energy of the negativity. As Kenan said, it's yes. The subconscious is yes. So feed it that. Okay, who's next?
Austin is next.
Austin, okay. Okay, my Sir Austin. So, my friend, what do I fear I would have to confront if I wasn't distracted by the energy of doing? It's okay to be stagnant. Are you willing to let go of all judgment on yourself in any way, shape, or form that you're not doing something productive? Because it doesn't mean that you're never going to do something productive, but it may be that it's important to pay attention to downtime and why it is that you need downtime. You definitely need downtime. And anywhere where you were judged by family, I'm just going to say family. I'm not going to get into details here. Anywhere where you judged by family that what you did as a child wasn't good enough. It could have been only eating half your oatmeal and being scolded for not eating the whole thing. Or you spending time with this, drawing this great picture that you thought was wonderful, and like just kind of being ignored. Anywhere where that is, can you release and clear all of that, and that who you are is important. Once you have that knowing that who you are is extremely important and valuable, then that goes into what you do and what you're creating, and it builds more and more. So any judgment that people have put upon you that you should be doing more, can you release and clear that? Yeah. Okay. Who's next? Oh, and Lindsay says he spent all day working on projects at my house all day, and I appreciate, but didn't ask for it. Oh, that's so awesome, Austin. Good for you. So take the night off. Who's next? I'm sorry.
Lana.
Hey, Lanny. Anywhere where you've had judgment on yourself, Lana, for getting angry in the past with anyone or anything. Can you release that? Any judgment on yourself for having gotten angry, and just letting go of all the judgment around that. This applies to all of us. We've all been angry. We've all said things we didn't mean or wanted to take back right away as soon as we said them. Or oh, so Harley's coming through here and he's talking about he wants you to know that when he was angry, anytime he was angry at you, it wasn't about you. He was angry with himself. Now he knows it, but then he didn't. He didn't understand. He didn't understand. He didn't have the depth of understanding that he does now when he was angry at you. And so it's like he's apologizing, and it had nothing to do with you. So if we look back, any of us, where someone has been angry at us, are we willing to let that go and know that sometimes that had nothing to do with us at all, but it was where that person was at that particular time, and they were just simply going through a learning process. You know, it's like when you get angry and you're trying to do math at school and you've never done math before, and you just get angry, you get short-tempered. It's that. Okay. All right, who's next?
Great, it's Giles.
Hey, Giles. Thanks for being here. Yeah, we're going to pull a card for you, okay? There we go. So D is talking about doves or quail. And there are, you may not remember your dreams, but she's talking about, and many times the people that we've lost come to us in dreams, but we don't remember them. But you are with her in your dreams. She's with you in your dreams. She's there. It's not so much she's in, yeah, she's just there. And you feel it. Like I know you feel it. Same thing with you, Lana. So it's like no coincidence that Giles and Lana were together tonight here with the order of the cards. are we all willing to open up our minds about death being more than just one thing? That death is people leaving us. It's much, much more than that. It's more of an expansion of not only our understanding of death, but also their understanding and how they're with us. I will tell you, the universe is stranger than we can think. It's not anything that can be defined. You know, it's way beyond those sea slugs that I saw that I wanted to name, but I'd never seen before. You're moving into our understanding of life and what is alive and the expansion of life. There's so much more. I was thrilled to be able to talk with Scott all weekend, this director, and his passion about my book and the story and what is available to help or teach people. And so many of you are such a huge part of this story with me and have been here and know the whole story. I love your input. I love your contribution, and so please feel more part of that. And somehow I was talking to Scott. I go, so do extras on the show? Do they have to be SAG members? Oh, he goes, no. You don't have to join anything. But how much fun would it be for all of you to be angels in the field waving? Now, don't tell anybody because it'll give the movie away. Okay. Anyway. Okay. All right. Who's next? Marilyn Pitts. Okay. I will set something up with you, Marilyn. This is okay. So we went to breakfast today with this group of people, and the woman there, I was sitting next to her husband, never had a reading, and the wife and the daughter were sitting across from me, and the husband was sitting next to me. And the woman asked if I could read for her husband, so I turned to her husband and said, do you want me to pull a card for you? And he goes, sure. So the card that came up was similar to this, where there was a stone person, but underneath he was all heart. And so there are people that put out this, and I'm talking about your husband, where he puts up, I don't want to call it a facade, but it's like an outward appearance. But he's actually really sensitive. So he just needs a hug, more hugs or more hand holding, or just letting him know he's going to get through this. And just, Marilyn, just radiating pure love toward him and on him. It will help him tremendously. Okay.
Thanks. Laurel's next.
Okay, my dear Laurel.
Marilyn says it's Larry.
Okay. So, Laurel. Death is never about death, but it is interesting that we're talking about this. in this different perspective, when I was talking to Giles earlier about having a different perspective of death, so ground, maybe after the show tonight, just step out into your yard or porch or wherever at, or just even on your own floor in your home, and just ground because there's something with the perspective of death completely changing. And because what's true in the microcosm is true in the macrocosm, Laurel. There's something with understanding death that will help you understand life. They're all interconnected. Anywhere where you feel you should have done something or should have said something or could have done something different to somebody that passed, can you let go of that now in any way, shape, or form? Okay. And then, because I want you to change out the salt under your bed if you haven't done so in the past couple weeks. If you've not been sleeping, before you go to bed at night, just say, okay, higher self, I am sleeping tonight. My body, I'm having a physical experience on earth right now. This body needs rest. And keep out any of these spirits or entities or their spirits. And we've talked about this before. It's a little bit like that scene in what I'm seeing is that the movie Ghost with Oprah Winfrey, not Oprah Winfrey. Oh my God, Whoopi Goldberg. Sorry, Whoopi Goldberg, where she's a psychic and her studio is filled with spirits wanting to talk to her. That's not appropriate. Okay, it's not appropriate. And so just set limits to go, no, you need your rest. Yeah, sage will help, salt, selenite, those type of things. But it's you setting the boundary. Like, no. Okay, so this is like work hours. You're not a freaking doctor where you're taking calls 24/7. No. There's a time for what I do. I don't do this 24/7. I can, but I don't. I office hours 9 to 5. Okay. Set limits. Set boundaries. What do we?
Yeah, ghost tours.
What's that?
She says her group of girls wants to go on a ghost tour. She doesn't want to go.
No, Laurel. No.
That's right.
Good girl. Don't go on a freaking ghost tour. I would say for every one of you, I love you all, but please, if at all possible, stay away from mortuaries, cemeteries. Send flowers to hospitals for people you love. But, yeah, please don't go on a ghost tour. Please. No. Okay, that makes perfect sense. That's why this card came up. And thank you, Laurel, for being here, pulling this particular card for all of us. That was a great message for all of it. Okay. Okay, Diney. All right, here we go. Oh.
I'm sorry. Did you get Jared?
Did I get Jared?
Yeah,
Like,
you can do Diane and Jared is fine.
okay, so I'm doing Diane, then I'm doing Jared. Okay. So anywhere, Diane, that you're feeling like you need to know the answer, can you let go of that now? Is it safe and okay for you to go, I don't know? I have no idea. And are you free of the need to always come up with the answer or to be the answer girl? Or to always help? There are times when you absolutely, all you can do is move the furniture, let the person thrash. There are people that have to go through their learning, and there's nothing you can do other than withdraw your energy, which is a blessing in and of its own for that person, because it allows them to get their lesson, even if it's in this lifetime or the next or the next. It's better if people get their lesson now, but sometimes they don't. Sometimes they have to go through third grade again and again. That's what we came here on earth to do, to get the lesson. And if we don't get it, we need to do it again. You know, Dolores Cannon, that's her name, right? I love Dolores
Yeah.
Cannon, yeah. Dolores Cannon, I watched some of her videos, but she's like, okay, guys, you agreed to come here to this earth, and you were told it's going to be very challenging and can be very difficult. Okay? And if you don't put your mind to it and you don't get the lessons, you got to do it again. You know that, right? I love how she puts it. So, all right, and then
It's Jared.
Jared. Okay, Jared's in Florida. Nice. Enjoy the beaches. So the priestess card is about higher spirituality or an understanding of who we are and letting go of judgments on our body. Um, so Jared, you're not alone in what it is that you're doing. It's not what you're doing, it's the energy you're putting behind it that is really important. And that's with any of us that we're doing, right? It's okay, so we're making spaghetti for dinner. It's not the spaghetti. It's the love and energy put into preparing that spaghetti. So it's the intent behind it that is, they're wanting me to remind you of this. The intention behind this is what's important as to what you're doing and who you are. Every one of us is this incredible being that is having a physical experience, but we're actually spiritual beings. So this is more spirituality coming through you, and it can feel like a buzzing sometimes, like you've had too much caffeine or something. It can feel like that. That's a sign of, whoa, what is happening? That's the download. Okay. And then,
Lindsay's name. Yeah.
okay, Lindsay. So, Lindsay, this is, do you see these older, dry, cracked hands that have worked very, very hard for many, many years? This is the Hermit card where like tonight, we had a really busy day. We drove down the mountain. I wanted to do the show, but I just needed 10 minutes. And so I just laid down for 10 minutes, fell asleep, and I just told myself in 10 minutes I'm going to wake up and feel totally new. And I did. This is the Hermit card. It's taking some time for yourself, even if it's 10 minutes. Doing that every day. It could be longer. There's a concept, Lindsay. But just being really, really grateful. I don't know if you're planning a trip to Tibet, not Tibet. Thailand or Indonesia, or if you've always wanted to go there, there's something in the works with that for you. Maybe with Austin. There's something with this. Austin really resonates with his previous life in Thailand. We haven't really talked about that, but that's coming through with this. But there's something really very spiritual about it. Or, you know, it could be Japan too. Like Kyoto. I don't know. But take some time. Let's start with the 10 minutes first every day. Taking some time for yourself. Oh. Have you been painting Buddha, or there's something about a spiritual symbol that is more of an Eastern spiritual symbol that you're painting? Okay, so what I'm saying to you, Lindsay, is, oh, that's so weird that you sent a link to an Airbnb in Cambodia to him yesterday. But something's going to open up that there will be an opportunity for you to do that. That's what I'm saying, is this hermit, this ability to take time off and to create this. It's happening. Okay. Hannah. Okay, Hannah. Strength. Be free of asking, oh gosh, how is this going to turn out? Am I going to be able to do this? Do I have the strength to do this? Or how? No, that is all negativity about how it's working out. Trust in it. Make your words is, I have the strength. I'm doing this. This is going to get done with ease and comfort. And it's going to coalesce. It is happening now. You have the strength to do it. You have the ability. In any way, shape, or form where you have doubted your ability, but you're willing to, for coaching or you're willing for help, allow that if you need it. But you do absolutely have the ability. Now, it may take training, but you have the strength for the training, right? This is the Olympics. This life on this planet is the Olympics. Everything about it. You're here, we're still here. This is the Olympics. Train for it every day. We have the strength to do it. It's happening for us. Okay. Oh, and something with saffron. What's saffron, Kenan?
It's very sacred. I'll look it up.
Yeah, Kenan's going to look up saffron. Saffron. I don't know. Saffron tea will help. And this is a fantastic tea for everybody. But it's very sacred, and he'll type it up in the messages. Okay, and who's next?
Lori.
Huh? Lori? Okay. Hey, Lori. The Woman of Wands, Lori, is about the sensor. So when you have the radio on, the TV on, the Wi-Fi on, Spotify on, and it's all blurring at one time, you're overloaded. Nobody can handle that. Cut down your input and who you're associating with. There's two people in particular that are way too scattered. Their energy is just frenetic. And it's not that they're bad or wrong people. They're just like power lines are extremely helpful. You just don't want to touch them. Okay? Or be around them or be close to them, especially in stormy weather because they can't handle when times get tough, and so they're dumping on you. And so the good news is that you're a very sensing person, but be free of taking too much of that on that is not yours. Okay. So I love this, and I'm going to read this for everybody. Thank you, Kenan, for putting that up. Saffron flowers are closely associated with purity, spirituality, and divinity. They're believed to represent divine love and light. They're often used in religious ceremonies, rituals, and offerings. Saffron symbolizes various qualities and spiritual meanings across different cultures and belief systems. Many view saffron as a symbol representing spiritual awakening, enlightenment, and the quest for higher consciousness. Its vibrant color and association with light represents the illumination of the soul and the quest for inner wisdom. So I love that. And that's really good for you, Lori. Perfect timing. There's a synchronicity to all of these readings. There's a synchronicity to life. Okay. Do we have everybody?
Next it's Kat, and then Edna, and then that's it.
Okay, we got Kat, and then we've got little Edna. Okay. Well, it's my niece. I call her little Edna. Okay, Kat. Awesome. Trust. This is the courage card, Kat. Anywhere where you're needing to be courageous for somebody other than your kids. This is of course it's very natural to be courageous for your kids, with your kids, but anyone else, not so much. You can be there to support them verbally, but they're needing to develop their own backbone. So anyone that is relying on you too much, can you allow them to see that they have the ability to stand on their own? Because that's true courage, Kat, is allowing someone to struggle. And I know sometimes you just want to avert your eyes, but that's where true courage comes in, is allowing people to struggle, to allow them to get the lesson that they wouldn't be able to get if you did the lesson for them. So kudos, but bring your energy back to you. Allow them to get their lesson. And who's next? Okay. Edna? Okay. Okay, my dear. All right. Get roses. Smell roses. The smell of roses. And it's going to uplift. It will help with memory and emotions. It will help calm it down. Roses are the highest vibration. They're right up there, of course, with love, but this is the ecstasy card, bringing you more into actual ecstasy. So the next few days is building your ecstasy of life, of where you're at in life, for what you've done, in a positive and great way. And helping or smelling roses. You got to stop and smell the roses. That's a great song. Look at everything that's right with you. When you look at a rose, do you go, this rose isn't perfect? Yeah, it is. You're a rose. You are absolutely perfect in who you are, what you do, who you help. Now, universe, source, perfect my thoughts about myself. Allow me to see myself as this rose, but actually smelling roses, please do that. And I'd recommend that for everybody on the show. Get some rose smell, okay?
Yeah, William Paul Strauss.
William, Billy, you're on the show. It's so great. I haven't heard from you in years. Thank you so much for being here. I'll pull a card for you. Everybody welcome William. Great to have you. Okay. So when you've lost your car keys and you kind of remember that they were in a pair of pants, in the pocket pair of pants, Billy, you have to go through all these old clothes. But you know what you're looking for. So you have to go through this confusion, but you know what you're looking for. You know what you're looking for. You're going to find it. Everything else is just confusion that is leaving. It's like Kenan, I don't know if you saw at the beginning of the show, the mind, the subconscious always says yes. So pay attention to what you're feeding the mind. Stay the positive route. It will retrain the mind around any confusion. Because you're going to find the car keys. You are coming into a time, and I use that, obviously, the car keys is symbolic, Okay, but it's alleviating the confusion. Also, if you have any stones, Billy, put them in a bowl of salt overnight. Maybe even put them in the freezer. They need to be cleansed. They, and then once they're cleansed, that'll actually help you alleviate the confusion. And be very careful about who you allow to touch your stones, because they can, they're receptors, and they can absorb any of that energy. And if they do touch that, then please put them in salt and cleanse them. Because you've been so psychic yourself, any confusion, just say, hey, where's this coming from? And then return to sender. Okay, do we have everybody?
That's everybody.
Okay, love you all. Let's do this again tomorrow night. And thank you for being here. Good to have you, Billy.